Ryan, my question to you is who do you like to win the MVP this year?
I feel like I'm going to lose some credibility right here because I could have come in here with a non-homer pick.
Oh, okay.
But there's only so many 6'6" quarterbacks who can run, maybe score double-digit touchdowns with their legs, maybe have a little positive regression in the passing world. 25, 30, maybe they rattle off 12 wins. Maybe they win the toughest division in the league, and maybe Mr. Daniel Jones wins the MVP. Price has come down from 75 to 1 to 50 to 1, but who can tell the difference? I'm still buying. As our friend of the program, Mr. Scott Bowser, knows, I keep telling him, get to that window. I need more Dan Jones exposure. It's kind of that recipe, a narrative award as well. And what better to reward a guy who has been dragged through the mud for the first 4 years thanks to the horrible actions of David Gettleman, Jason Garrett, Joe Judge, and Pat Shurmur. So absolutely love this one. And guess what? If we have the paper ticket, secondary markets are great because I absolutely think this price is coming down as the season wears on.
As someone who sits next to you for all these shows, you have plenty of exposure already to Dan Jones, Ryan. I think you're going to be all right. My MVP, and again, we didn't plan this on being homery, but sometimes it happens.
Shoot your shot.
Sometimes you got an opportunity at 11-1 to bet on Jalen Hurts to win the MVP. I mean, I still don't understand how he didn't win it last year. He was 13-1 in games he played. Like, what are we talking about? 14-1.
Yeah.
It's insane. I just don't get it. He dominated the regular season, and when he got hurt for 2 games, they lost both those games. Other than that, 14-1, he got them the number 1 seed. He got them to the Super Bowl, and yet he still didn't win the MVP. I think this is a makeup year for the awards committee. I think they're going to realize we snubbed Jalen Hurts last year and expect Jalen Hurts to pass a little bit more. They have big games against the Chiefs, the Buffalo Bills, the 49ers. I know everyone on the 49ers, the team, the fans, they're all chomping at the bit. Oh, hey, our third quarterback got injured. We didn't have a fair chance to win the NFC Championship. Well, you'll have your chance in Philadelphia, and I think Jalen Hurts is going to have a chance to really show how he continues to develop as a passer, continues to win big games, and 11-1 I think is actually, normally I like to go a little less chalky here, but I'm eating some chalk there, Ryan, at MVP 11-1. Give me Jalen Hurts all day.
I love that our chalky plays are 11-1.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
An 11-1 play, MVP, no big deal. I respect the man. I respect anyone who can squat 600 pounds.
What about the rest of the awards market? What do you got value-wise for the good folks?
Well, every year we get cute with these defensive prospects. This guy's super long. He's athletic. He fits the mold of a defense. Trayvon Walker rings a bell. This year it was the kid out of Texas Tech. Meanwhile, Will Anderson, just absolute stud. He's 4-1, obviously eating some quote chalk here, but he's 4-1 in the defensive rookie of the year market for a reason. He looks absolutely like he's going to come out wrecking offensive linemen. And honestly, if you're excited about the Texans, it's mostly probably because you think the defense might actually get something done with the new D'Amico Ryans defense. So Will Anderson, I think, counting stats matter here. We see the defensive linemen typically win this award unless a cornerback does something very, very special. I love Will Anderson here. 4-1 defensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not high on the Texans, but I think if the Texans do succeed, they got to get something out of Will Anderson, right? They got to be able to rush the passer.
Have you seen him in the preseason?
He's looked really good. I mean, again, what did this open at, Ryan? Because at 4-1, I feel like
around that.
Okay, yeah, because it does feel like it must have gone down with people seeing how well he's looked in the preseason. For me, a bet I like for Defensive Player of the Year, and I'm sure this is registering as a long shot for some people, but Aaron Donald. I think Aaron Donald still has a ton left in the tank. I mean, Aaron Donald didn't have to come back, right? Like he got his ring. He's already done that. But Aaron Donald, he's already won the Super Bowl.
You talk about it like going to Six Flags.
Yeah,
I've already done that.
He already rode the ride. I still understand, as someone who lived in Los Angeles, where they had the LA Rams Super Bowl parade. No one in LA watches the Rams or supports the team. But I mean, it was hilarious having an LA Rams Super Bowl in LA. You would have no idea anything was happening. I still remember calling a place to get like a giant sub for our Super Bowl party, and the woman asking, "The Rams are in the Super Bowl. It's an LA place." She goes, what day are they doing that? This year, honey, they're doing it on a Sunday. And this guy shows up, Aaron Donald, on a bunch of Sundays. He didn't have to come back. He came back for a reason. And, Ryan, you talk about teams feeling disrespected. All the local news about the Rams is, man, they got a chip on their shoulder. Man, they got something to prove. And if they do anything defensively, it's going to be because of Aaron Donald. Love the price at 25-1.
Write this down, because when the narrative starts happening, they're going to say, and Aaron Donald, only starter on that defense who was drafted in the first 2 rounds of the NFL draft. That's going to be powerful come voting time. Look, I don't hate it, but I just worry that the framework, it's like scaffolding. You ever see the building with the old wooden scaffolding, and it looked.
You can't compare Aaron Donald to scaffolding.
No,
come on, this man's a tower.
The Rams team around him. He's the piece of concrete at the bottom that everything crashes around, but he survives. 25-1 is a ridiculous price for a guy who has he won it before? Maybe,
yeah,
a couple times.
Sure.
I think he's won maybe 3, maybe 4. All right, so moving along. Sean, I went long again because not a homer play this time, but you look around the league, and I don't know if there's someone who is more self-aware of their impact to scoring in fantasy football, and that's Austin Eckler. His Offensive Player of the Year price opened at 60-1. It's down to 50-1, but he's openly talking about scoring 25 touchdowns, 2,000 all-purpose yards. This guy's in a contract year. Remember, he was good. He was holding out. He was hosting the running back Zoom call. He was helping running backs stand for one another. Although honestly, it doesn't seem like it's working out. Maybe they need to hire a new running back president. But this guy is into fantasy football. He's a fantasy football analyst. He wants to outperform that ADP, and he's the second running back coming off the board. So if he can get to 20, is it 25 touchdowns he needs total? If he can do that, I think he's absolutely in play here. And at 50-1, that it doesn't seem to be taking that into account.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not going to pick apart a 50-1 because, again, that is a fun bet.
He's an analyst.
Yeah.
One of us.
And that deal he re-signed was a lot of, like, incentive-based stuff. So the guy's literally running to get paid.
That was the Zoom call was just him being like, guys, get whatever you can. Whatever you can do.
I've tried to negotiate for us. It's not working. And then Saquon Barkley, kind of the scab, who's like, wait, the same deal? All right, I'm in. Cross the picket line.
Team first.
Pretty quick there, Saquon. Saquon, Scab, Barkley. Some are saying, not me, of course. Ryan, we already, earlier on in the program, had our Tennessee Titans Love Fest, but it's going to continue here where I like for the awards market, give me Mike Vrabel Coach of the Year at 33-1. Now, normally this market favors new head coaches a la Brian Daboll last year, but I think there's a sweet spot here for this Tennessee Titans team because really the key to winning Coach of the Year is to win at least 5 games more than you did the previous year. Now, a lot of times it works out for new head coaches because, again, you're a new head coach because your team sucked the year previously, but I think this Titans team is in a decent situation where if he can turn things around, if he can get a really good year out of Ryan Tannehill, he can integrate DeAndre Hopkins. He can, they only won 7 games last year. So if he can get to that top of the mountain in the AFC South, maybe beat up on some of these other rookie head coaches, beat up on the NFC South there, he can win a bunch of games. And I like that price at 33-1. So yeah, give me Mike Vrabel.
And if you're watching the program and you see Vrabel, and you just
see a dog.
You just see football coach, man amongst boys. We're in on the Titans, and so like any way you can kind of add to that, right? It's like a same game parlay where you're just you're bolting on little pieces of like, maybe if it really goes well, we do a little 1C, a little Coach of the Year. So love that Coach of the Year angle.
Well, and again, because if it goes right for the Titans, it's probably not going to be just Ryan Tannehill balling out or just Derrick Henry.
You seen the Spears kid?
Out.
He looks amazing.
Tajay Spears looks good. If it goes right for the Titans, which I think it will, who are they going to give the credit to, right? Like, that's kind of what you have to factor in for these award season stuff, because it's stuff that's voted on. It's not like a statistical thing. It's not quantitative. It's the eye test. So again, if the Tennessee Titans exceed expectations, go on a little bit of a run here, I like Mike Vrabel to be the guy that gets the attention, that gets the glamour, because I think it's going to be split up between a lot of different guys on that team and them truly coming together as a team and getting some dubs and cashing some tickets. Mike Vrabel, Coach of the Year, 33-1.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.